Right, we're live. Hi, and today we have amazing Allison Starr, who was a big part of the last class that we did, the last detached class. And you know what's really fun and what's really cool about you, Allison, is that you are a light worker. I think you call yourself a gray worker, and we can get into that in a minute.
No.
Um, but what was amazing about it is, you know, you had a ton of insight for the other people in the program. So it was really fun to have you in there because you were actually, it wasn't just me, right? It was you and me and Rogelio and some of the others that were helping all the folks that were in the program. So it was really an incredible and fun experience to have you. So I would love it if you would kind of introduce yourself to our audience and really what was it that made you join the program in the first place? And then we'll just ask you some more questions about that.
Okay, well, I mean, I'm Allison Starr, as you can see. I have just naturally been drawn to being an intuitive being and a healer, and really trying to just heal from generational cycles, karmic contracts. And I really came in just as an enlightened being. Um, I have gone through a lot of my own type of trauma that has reset my course a lot of times and kind of made me give up as a healer, as an intuitive. And that's where I was finding myself in my recovery from a really profound trauma I had in 2015. And I had been just looking for a place to step back in to a collective group of people that were also trying to heal. And I actually found you on TikTok because TikTok has been my pandemic refuge. And I found you on TikTok and I just sat with my guides with it. And I said, is this guy like, is he a sales pitch? Is he like everybody else on TikTok I'm seeing that is throwing up, you know, the Three of Swords and the Death card? Or is this guy for real? So, you know, I sat with that and I talked with my wife about it. And I said, you know what, I'm feeling really called. I'm just feeling really called to leaning in to whoever this Xane guy is. I had no idea who you were. And so I just kind of took that step and reached out, and it kind of all unfolded from there.
Okay, I went away there for a second. Sorry about that.
That's
Are
okay.
You there?
Yeah.
My connection is terrible all of a sudden. Like we were talking just fine before we did this, and now I didn't hear anything you said.
Oh no.
So I have no idea
Well,
where
I
you
still can
were
barely hear
or
you,
any
but
of
I'm
that.
working it out. So technology, I mean, that's the good thing, right? Even energy, you can work energy without technology.
Right. Okay. Well, I could hear that you were talking there. So it's oh man, see, I'm disagreeing. I don't know if we're going to be able to do this. Well, okay, how about this? You're going to do most of the talking. So now I want you to answer the question, what was it that you got out of the program? What was it that you learned during it? And what is it, what maybe the biggest thing that you could teach people who are tuning in and watching today? Impart some of that knowledge, maybe.
Okay. Well, first of all, I have to openly admit that I went into the program with a ton of ego. And so I was very reserved around connecting with anybody in the group right off the bat, because of past experiences that I had had with a lot of other healing groups. I just kind of was reluctant. As much as I wanted it, I really wanted to connect. I wanted to reemerge and connect with other people that were doing the same thing. I found myself hesitating. And it wasn't until about, I think it was week 3 or 4, when we really started talking about the trauma. In that week, I realized that I was holding myself back from these experiences that I had asked for. And we had a lot of like great discussions around that during class, or if I'd stayed after class, like trying to figure out like what the blocks were, because I had a really profound understanding that I didn't have any like attachments or negative attacks happening to me, but I had blocks, and those blocks were impacting me. In fact, I was the one that was putting these blocks up. So it was really profound for me, I would say, in between that third and fourth week of class, kind of realizing and re-remembering. I think that's the thing that I gained from the class a lot, was a lot of re-remembering things that I'd forgotten or had thought that doesn't serve me anymore. And I brought it back into the platform, and I allowed it to come in from a new point of view, from new language, from new perspectives. And I just really leaned in. Every time I felt like I wanted to pull back and reserve myself, I leaned in even more. So that was the biggest thing for me.
Yeah.
And that revelation of,
yeah,
well, no, I don't want my suffering to end, because I'm never going to learn and grow and expand from it.
right. Oh, okay. I think you're back. Well, what's amazing too is that you did lean in, right? And it was powerful and beautiful to see it happen. And you're doing it right now because you're live with me. And I bet you were not very comfortable with doing that. Is that right?
I had a bit, a bit of, oh my God, I'm going live with Xane type of, energy, but more excitement to chat with you. I mean, since the classes ended, that was definitely like a, where did that routine go? Where did that a semblance of like-minded people, and people all striving to do the same thing, and not only heal for themselves but heal for the collective and heal for source, and be able to have those dialogues with each other. And so like this was definitely like a, yeah, I'm excited to chat with you.
Good, good. I'm glad. Yeah. So, okay. Like I said, I didn't get to hear most of what you said, unfortunately. For the benefit of someone else, because they needed to break out of their comfort zone and be the one who's doing most of the talking. So even if I'm not here, keep it going.
Okay.
And what is it that, okay, how about negative entity attachments? What was your experience with them? And if you haven't already talked about it, and what is your perspective on them now, maybe based on what you learned during the program?
Well, I think that I came to the group really prepared, and not having any assimilation of fear around negative energies or negative attachments. And I think like what you were saying in the beginning, no, I don't assign myself as a light worker. I've declared myself a gray worker. I will sit and reside in both the dark and light simultaneously. And I have looked in the face of darkness very closely and had to really just look at it and navigate through it. And it was ugly. It was its own traumatic experience. And it involved me being very humble with myself, of being able to not only be humble but vulnerable, that I was experiencing this darkness, and the only way that I was going to navigate through this darkness was to do exactly that. I was going to have to navigate through it, as opposed to being scared of it or acting like it was against me. I had to recognize that it was a part of me. And and so when it comes to outside energies, I had a pretty good understanding about that. I think the biggest thing that I gained out of the group was my own self-imposed shadows of like the unrefined pieces of me, the pieces that are still healing, the fragments and the dust and the debris that kind of holds on to my auric field. Those are mine still. and I with them. So just having the discussions in class and having other people that had gone through the class before, that had joined in the class, and the conversations that they were able to see me, was a pretty profound thing, because I wanted to be seen, but I felt like I hadn't been seen in a long time as an energy worker, as a light worker, by another energy worker, by another person that works with healing. And so hearing that feedback from other people that had done the program, that other people that are currently working in the field of energy work, and they were able to see me, and I guess I could say call me out a little bit, um, was exactly what I needed from this class. I'm an over explainer, and while you're not on the screen right now, I'm just going to keep over explaining things. But I would over explain away things. I would hyper analyze things. And I'm not saying I still am not doing that. I'm definitely working on removing the analysis and just being in the process of whatever is showing up right now. But in the class, I was able to really gain a lot of class that were revealing that I was creating this own blockage by that analysis, by over processing and not just sitting and sitting through it and feeling what I was going through. By over processing and not just sitting and sitting through it and feeling what I was going through. I can't hear you at all now. Oh my goodness, no, I can't hear you at all. I tried turning up all of the sound on my end, so hopefully that helps me hear you. Yay, technical difficulties. Hi, everybody out there. I tried turning up all the sound on my end, so hopefully that helps me hear you. Yay, technical difficulties. Hi, everybody out there.
What are your spiritual gifts?
What are my spiritual gifts? So I used to describe myself as a crock pot. I really am asserting myself and claiming who I am. I'm an intuitive. I'm a medium. I'm a healer. Those are things that I came in with, and those are gifts that have only amplified as I have moved through my trauma, my soul contracts, the place that I am in life, my maturity as a physical human. I have the ability to talk to spirit and feel spirit. I have the ability to feel energy and feel people and see what they're going through. I have prophetic dreams, which that's one that I don't really want, but they happen anyway. And I'm not afraid to say that's who I am. I used to really I used to have a lot of fear around claiming those abilities that I had. And I think just because of the examples I had of my ancestors before me that had fear around it, I just struggled to really sit in that power seat of, I'm an intuitive medium. I am a powerful person. I'm a powerful healer. And I'm not scared to do that anymore. I'm really starting to just claim it more and more every day.
Okay, so is there anything that we could offer the audience who's watching right now? Is there anything that anybody in the audience would like to ask?
I'm open to questions. I'll try and answer. I'm still having a hard time hearing you, so I'll do my best to hear what's coming through.
I'm open to questions. I'll try and answer. I'm still having a hard time hearing you, so I'll do my best to hear what's coming through.
What's the best way to transmute negative energy? That's a really good question. And I think that's definitely something that I've talked a lot about for myself and people that I know. I think the biggest thing about transmuting negative energy is realizing that it really is only as negative as you allow it to be. And the more power you give it in a negative space, the longer it will stay around you. I really am a firm believer in that those things only have as much power as you give it. So you can have a negative experience and still be able to move through the negative experience with positivity. So I've gone through a very traumatic injury in my life that was a head injury that took me to a very negative place for a long time. I chose to recover. I chose to not sit in that space of negativity as long as possible. And that's just one example. Like some people could be stuck in traffic and allow that to ruin their whole day, or have an exchange with somebody at the store and, a Karen as an example, and allow it to just like come with them and follow them and allow them to have a negative experience. So the way that I transmute negative energy for me is I look at it and I say, what is this? What part of it can I accept just as it is? What part of it can I control? Like, what is outside of me? Somebody else came in and created a negative experience for me, then I'm able to say, that's that person. That person is going through what they're going through. They're working with the best tools that they have at that given moment. And it may not be a match for me on that energy transfer. So I don't have to claim the energy that that person is putting towards me. And I can put my own barrier up. If I'm dealing with my own negative experiences, such as memories from my childhood trauma or experiences with past relationships or current relationships that are harboring some negativity within me, then I have to look within myself and ask myself, is this ego? Is this authentic hurt or shame? Is this something that I can heal myself? And if I can't heal it, where can I go to heal it? Like, could I go to the doctor? Could I go to a therapist? Could I go to a healer? Those are the things that I would say to do to transmute negative energy, if that makes sense. That's a really good question. So for me, I knew about muscle testing, and I remember, I believe it was the first week that we were with Xane and we were working on like yes or no. That's not something I typically use. For me, I usually have more of a knowing. If I'm working with somebody physically, my abilities actually show up where I can smell things. on a person that would have let me know something's going on with them, or I will start to physically feel on my body areas of the person that might be impacted. And then I do a lot of pendulum work. I do like using a pendulum to help me kind of have as a clarifier if I'm unsure of what I'm receiving for energy. But I'll receive messages, whether it be I'll physically hear something given to me as a message. I'll be given symbols, scents, things like that. So I don't typically do the muscle testing in relation to what we learned in the first week of class. I am leaning towards learning more about that because I've been reading more about the, if you close your eyes and you hold like a medicine in your hand, if you lean forward, you should take it. If you lean back, you shouldn't. Same with food. I'm just now starting to really look into that and with, inquisition on whether or not I should, play around with it. But for the most part, I really just get the information given to me. Sorry, Xane, I can't hear you.
If you can hear me now.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that I just can't get enough connection here to make this viable. So I think we're going to have to end it early today. And
Okay.
Jaybird and I, we need to go to a different area of the state because we cannot find a good spot here in the Miami area, which is kind of surprising to me. But anyway, thank you so much, Allison, for being here. And I'm sorry that we had so many technical issues. And thank you to everyone who
just means we have to do it again
and was a part of it. We will do it again. There is no doubt about it. And when we're in an area where this isn't a problem, but it's kind of funny because Zoom's been working for me all day today, but this isn't. So that might be the problem. Anyway, we'll get it all sorted out, and we'll see you again soon, Allison. And thanks again, everybody, for tuning in.
Thank you.
Yep. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye.